Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Dr. Jeff Pierce, our WSN. I almost said Wolverine insider.
Hey, what?
But he is one of those as well, but he's our injury insider. That is so great to have you here, Dr. Pierce.
And rocking the purple, man. We got the purple vibe going.
Always, purple's my color. It's my charity. Athletes Unlimited, orange and purple.
This is true.
1997, we started that color.
Look at that. I just got invited in 2024. What a shame.
No, you got invited.
I'm joking. You're right. Yeah. I called myself out on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dr. Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Dr. Pierce, first of all, let me do something.
All right.
First and foremost, we got to get to the big news of the day, and that was last night.
Yeah.
You were at the Green Day concert. What in the hell happened?
The drone show.
It's the drone show. So it's the news is like everybody got. I actually left because I went to the Pitbull. I saw Smashing Pumpkins, a bit loud for me, and Green Day came on. I think about 15 minutes into the show, some foreign object was flying above. They kind of got spooked, came off, confirmed that it was a drone being flown by somebody outside the stadium, and everything went back to normal.
It's incredible, though. You can't fly a drone over a stadium.
No, you can't fly a drone. But there's not, like, the security's changing so much. You know, what's going on, like, we can talk about U of M and serving liquor and what's going on there. But it's safety first. You know, like, Taylor Swift made a big comment, not to throw Taylor Swift into our mix, but why not? You know, in France, that's a big show for her to cancel. You know, the threats, it's just, it's sad what our kids are growing up with, and you can't go to an event right now. You go with hesitation now. You know, this has nothing to do with injury inside or anything like that. I think it's just a moment of, I know Braylon, we ran down the street. When it got dark, we were being yelled at by our parents to get home.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's...
And if you weren't home, somebody down the street, parents or somebody was telling you to
go
home.
That network was way better than social media.
Right.
That network was more powerful.
No doubt. It Takes a Village comes from,
But yeah, it was a great concert, a great venue. Shout out to Live Nation. I mean, they always put on a great event. They had two big shows. They had Pitbull at Pine Knob, and unfortunately, it's a high energy show. Pitbull, everybody sees him. You like that high energy. He just came out of the gate.
Doesn't he have a bowl game this year, the Pitbull Bowl or something like that?
I will give a shout out to Pitbull. As much people that like him,
it's a stadium or something.
Yeah, like him or don't like him, the guy puts money where his mouth is. He puts a lot of money back into his community. He's built 12 schools for underprivileged people, and he's got 10,000 of them in Miami, and go out and visit. It's called Slam, and do I love his music? Do I like his message most of the time? But for a guy who does that, puts his money where his mouth is, he says, I'm not educated. I didn't finish high school for certain reasons, but I put money back to where it belongs.
Chico.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
So,
good stuff there.
With the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a lot of guys that do that.
Yeah, no doubt. I do want to touch on some injury news with you. First and foremost, there's really, and this is great news,
healthy,
not a ton with the Detroit Lions. I look at the injury report for the Lions. Ifeatu Melifonwu, ankle injury, limited practice.
He's the only one that we don't know if he's going to play or not.
DJ Reader, quad injury, limited practice. But these guys are practicing. That is a good sign when it comes to whether or not they're going to try to suit up.
Yeah, I thought we were going to talk about Gibbs. Gibbs coming in with the hamstring injury, kind of what we predicted. I think they sat him down cautiously, and he's putting out there, I'm 98 to 100%. He's got to feel it. If I had to translate, it's probably like 85%. But if his mental picture is like, I'm 98 to 100%, he feels like he can move forwards and backwards fine, and transition, translate into his moves of the lateral movements. But the ankle injuries, I think we're being cautious right now. There's plenty of players who can step up until these guys are 100, 110%, which I think is a smart move that Campbell maybe not always accused of making the smart move. But, I think right now, you're right. The Lions look healthy. They look good. Coming off of us saying, as he pushed them too hard, playing them too hard, hitting too hard in practice, he got through the preseason with, like you're saying, minimal injuries. But I think there's some nagging stuff that these guys are just going to play through. The quad injury, I know we're predicting week 2. I'd be surprised. I'd give it 50-50 that's week 2.
With these injuries, whether it's the quad or, an ankle, just looking at these two Lions specifically, Melifonwu with the ankle and DJ Reader with the quad, as you play NFL football, does it ever really get better? And will it just be what it is and you have to deal with it? Or can these injuries get better as the season goes on? Because I just can't imagine how something you're basically in this head-on-head collision 100 times a game, 60 times a game, let's say, to have that pounding and for something to get better as the season goes on, not worse.
So don't forget there's time, right? There's physiological healing over time, right? So time itself, like we don't come up with these, you're going to be better in 2 weeks, 6 weeks. There's some science behind it. So as you go, the biggest precaution is while they're playing not to continue to re-injure. I think what you're trying to allude to is like you're going to be injured. You got a weak link in your system, in your chain, and that's going to be your weakest link. And if you're pounding, going 70 miles an hour at each other, you're going to re-injure, cause micro-trauma to those injuries. So it is a balance. But the thing is, they know where the injury is. Ankles and hamstrings can be taped up, can be protected, can be braced. So there's a lot of protection in that system. So there is time on their side that you get healing as you go from a physiological standpoint. Again, they're getting the secret sauce in the locker room too. And yeah, they should be getting better. It's not a status quo or a decline on a hamstring and an ankle. If you're talking like shoulder or elbow, where you're constantly using it, then, it's a little bit less. It's hard to brace those things because they're actually actively being used through the whole game. Talking
to Dr. Jeff Pierce, our injury insider here at WSN, Michigan Sports and Spine, in the YouTube chat. This is from Freddie. Super chat, Freddie. Thanks so much, Freddie. Dr. Pierce, I had my ACL meniscus repaired when I was 28. I'm now 41, dealing with nagging pain after long walks. Could that be arthritis, scar tissue? MRIs are normal.
MRIs are normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those things. So I talk about the secret sauce that we do at Sports and Spine. He needs to take it to the next level. Any of these guys, like we've talked about, who's a candidate for biologics? It's anybody with a previous injury. So he had an ACL meniscal tear, and he was 21, so it's 20 plus years
28,
ago.
28, so 13 years ago.
13 years ago. So they may or may not have removed most of the meniscus, and when it's gone, it's gone. But there's stuff there is, especially over the last 5 years with the biologics, with stem cell and PRP, not to be misleading because I can only say certain things, but those things have been proven to be helpful in that kind of recovery. Does he have premature arthritis? Yeah, most likely he has premature arthritis, but everybody has premature arthritis at that age. So I would highly suggest if it's bothering him where it's swelling and irritant, he needs to get in to see someone, not at a general level, at kind of like a sports-specific level. So
hopefully that helps you out there.
We can't do a shout out for us, but
right.
Someone like us. I don't know where. If
someone like us. Someone like us.
With all those years.
Quick pivot. Talking about the New York Jets team that I'm fond of, my team, my squad. You look at Aaron Rodgers coming back off that Achilles, and you can also talk about Kirk Cousins down there in Atlanta. What are some signs to look for those guys, for those quarterbacks, some swelling in certain areas or injury or other parts of the body starting to bother you where you may want to slow down or you may want to keep an eye on that Achilles or you may want to keep an eye on the, what's the word I'm looking for, compensation side to side?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is for all the fantasy football people out there picking them, but...
I'm asking about my team. I want them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Bottom line, it's kind of like you short stride. You favor it. You see what he's doing. Is he ginger on it? Is he competent on it? I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's got that mental, right? He's got a mental, I'm in the game, nothing else is bothering me type of thing. But he will compensate. The body will do it by itself. You look how his foot is. Is his foot, pivoted out a little bit to create more balance, more stability? Is he moving sideways. It's the lateral movements that's more concerning. Forwards and backwards is okay, but what happens when the pocket collapses? How does he get out of it? Is he just sit? Is he being cautious? So those are all the kind of things that you want to look for. It's really, does his affected side look like his unaffected side? Like we look at hockey players or kids that, it's easy for the kids because they don't know any better. They just naturally start short striding because they're protecting that hip, knee, and ankle. So the ankle, the Achilles is all part of that. So is he pushing off the same? Is he favoring it? Is he, planting his foot like he should be? Those are all the kind of things you want to look at. That kind of answer what you were looking for?
It does, 100%. Because I'm going to be watching both those quarterbacks. I'm going to see how long Kirk Cousins has, and I'm going to see if Aaron Rodgers can get it together from the squad.
Who's going to last longer is the better question.
Aaron Rodgers. He can't afford, in his mind, he can't afford not to have a good year. He can't afford to stay and at least get them to the playoffs. Kirk Cousins, he got paid, and he's going to try, but if it doesn't hurt, they also drafted a quarterback, which he's still mad about. So I think Aaron Rodgers lasts longer.
I want to pivot. I want to pivot to baseball if I could for a sec. Just because we've seen a couple of Detroit Tigers. Javier Baez will probably never play another game with the Tigers, but a right hip and lumbar spine inflammation, underwent successful surgery, arthroscopic surgery, and then Reese Olson, he had a right shoulder strain. Right shoulder strain kept him out for months. He's going to rehab. He's going to start throwing again and maybe even be back if the Tigers need him in a couple of weeks. But let's start with Reese Olson with that right shoulder strain. How long does that injury usually take? For obviously a player, it took him about 2 months, but for a regular person to maybe just go about their everyday life.
Oh, a guy that has to work and show up tomorrow and still needs to get paid about a day.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but I'm being serious too. I mean, that's something you can work around. A strain is what we say on the minimal end, right? When you hear a strain without any type of tear or grade, right? So we'll have grades of strains. There's the simple ones that are ones, which it sounds like he's between a 1 and a 2. A line worker, a person going to school, a doctor, a person on the air is not going to be not working the next day, right? But the thing is, how does it recover? Usually a strain, like I said before, we have those physiological time frames. Usually, if you're doing everything right, if you're icing, if you're using the creams and the medication, you can feel a lot better in 2 weeks, if not 6 weeks. If you have a tear, that's when we start moving into that six weeks to 3 months to 6 months, depending how big that tear is, because that needs more physiological recovery. The tear, there's healing. With a strain, you just have more inflammation around that ligament. And then it depends. I mean, in the age group also depends. Younger kids, I mean, we'll have high school athletes, be walked off the field and come back the next game. Where you put a 30-year-old line worker who kind of wrenched his arm, he's going to be ginger for a couple weeks. But it's such a broad question. It's hard to answer, but it's everything from a simple 2 days. If it's a true strain, it's 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on the amount and how diligent you are in your recovery. And if there's a tear, you're looking at that 6 weeks to 3 months to 6 months full recovery.
I see something in the chat, and I just got to check this. I can't believe it's true, but
about me?
No. I don't see it anywhere else. So it was regarding Aaron Rodgers, but
going back to Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, I'm not sure how much true rehab Aaron Rodgers is doing and was committed to. He's got a whole nother path he follows, not necessarily a traditional path. So I'm interested to see what happens too. I mean, he has his own secret sauce, let's just say.
Okay.
Not judging him or not, right or wrong. It's just Kirk Cousins is following, I think, more of the traditional model.
Yeah. I just wanted to check on that. Somebody put in the chat that something happened to Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe it.
Oh, the jogging?
Yeah. So I just don't see it anywhere else. All right. What do you got there, Dr. Pierce?
Hey, you read it.
Come on, Maz. What do you got? Hey, we're trying to conduct business here.
Russell Wilson has a calf injury. Will he play?
Calf injuries. Nagging?
Yeah, it's a nagging injury that you can get through a game. I mean, there's stuff we do, especially towards the middle to the end of the season, that can get you to play. It depends on his maybe a game day decision, and Russell Wilson is a veteran. He's going to do what he thinks his body can do at this point without any real secret sauce early in the season. So
You going to the Michigan game tomorrow?
I am.
Or no, Saturday. I keep thinking today's Friday.
I will probably be at the Michigan game on Saturday.
Go Blue.
What's
going to happen?
There's not a lot of love on the networks that they're going to be winning.
Oh, I think they're going to win.
You do?
Yeah.
-7, you're taking.
I think they're definitely going to cover the spread.
And you saw the offense
Two different
last week?
things.
I did.
And you're comfortable.
I am.
Okay, I guess we'll know. Braylon?
I think that it is 3:56, man. It's been a great show. And we appreciate you guys for all tuning in.
I'm sorry.
It's always a pleasure
I'm sorry.
to have
It faded
Dr.
out.
Jeff Pierce, injury
great.
insider.
It faded
Michigan
out.
Sports
I didn't hear what
Spine is amazing. Yo,
What's that?
football's here, ladies and gentlemen. The Ravens, the Chiefs tonight. Excited to see it. Hell of a show out of UKG.
That's
Pete, what
awesome.
you got going on, man?
No,
Thanks for the picks, by the
love
way.
that was just wonderful what you
That
did.
was
Picks
well
for Pete.
done. That was well
Ryan
done.
Ermanni,
Are
my
we
brother
near
from
the end?
11
I'm not sure where we're at.
Oh, Dr.
That's
Pierce, you know
it.
where we're at? We're at the end of the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on Expert Sports Injury Insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.